over 6 months ago, I posted a Reddit post on the game theorist subreddit titled FNaF 4 Crying Child's Name Confirmed. For those of you who don't know, I've had a deep interest in the Five Nights at Freddy's since I was 6 or 7 years old, and I can never let it go. Over the years, I've come across many conspiracy theories aimed at the FNaF community and its storyline, but never shared with me before. Until now. There have been some clarifications for the game creators around who the characters of the games are. For example, the antagonist William Afton was previously known as Purple Guy or Purple Man. Afton's daughter Elizabeth Afton was formerly known as the daughter of Mr. Afton until FNaF 6 was released, when her name was revealed to be Elizabeth. In short, there are names for most of the characters except one. On July 23rd, 2015, the fourth FNaF game called Five Nights at Freddy's 4 was released. One of the scariest FNaF games ever, if not the scariest according to some. In the course of the play, we play a little boy whose name is omitted, but is usually referred to as the Crying Child and Bite Victim. Crying Child is connected to his moods, crying over his fears both during the day and night. Bite Victim is from a scene during the game's minigames when he is stuffed into Fredbear's mouth and bitten on the forehead by the animatronic's jaw. Fortunately, no one has ignored the fact that this child, who is likely William Afton's middle child, has not been named. His death is even the great opening shot leading up to William Afton's evil deeds. In February 2021, Reddit user Wolfie1740 Kingdom posted a post titled Possible Identity of 1983's Bite Victim, where he drew conclusions and came up with a method that gave him the ability to solve a grid that possibly hides the identity of Crying Child. I'm not going to go into detail on exactly how he solved this puzzle, but will link his Reddit post in the description. In short, he uses a book called The Survival Logbook to solve various puzzles. One of those puzzles is the Foxy Grid, a grid where you probably have to fill all the boxes with letters in alphabetical order over and over again. Using different pages of dialogues, he uses the page numbers to produce different letters in the grid. These 4 letters in the right order form the name Evan. These dialogues are between Crying Child and Cassidy on nights 4 and 5 of Feelings About Tonight's Shift. Every question Cassidy asks is answered by the Crying Child. The first is from page 75 of Does He Still Talk to You?, which is replied by I Can Hear Sounds. Next is page 103 of The Party Was For You, which is answered with It Was For Me. Page 59's What Do You See is answered with I Can't See. Last comes page 47, where Crying Child says, I'm scared. Sadly, Wolfie had problems with the matching question or statement to the final answer, I'm scared, that eventually broke his methodology. But luckily, I decided to give it a shot, so the final answer, I'm scared, might match with the question of, do you have dreams? The question is on page 41, so I plug into the Foxy Grid and I got the letter D. So instead of Evan, it now says Evid. Weird, right? But one interesting detail is that a YouTube user, Watata148, found is that on one of the pages in the survival logbook tells us to self-reflect, which might literally mean reflect as in reverse. In this case, the word Evid can be flipped backwards, now spelling Dave. Dave. Sounds familiar, right? And you'll be partially right, because in the Silver Eyes novel, we meet a security guard at Freddy's who calls himself Dave Miller. In the end, this is just a fake identity of William Afton, and it isn't the first time where multiple characters within the franchise has the same names. Take Vanessa for example. The name appears in FNaF Help Wanted and Security Breach as well as in the FNaF movie. Jeremy is the ghost possessing Bonnie. The other Jeremy is the FNaF employee that slices his face off in Help Wanted. And there is also a third Jeremy Fitzgerald, who works as the security guard in FNaF 2. But if Dave is the crying child's name, why would William Afton use it in his fake name? Even though the Silver Eyes aren't canon towards the game lore. But I've seen an earlier connection between William and Bite Victim. In FNaF's sister location, in the secret office ending, you can activate the monitors to get access to the FNaF 4's house, including Crying Child's bedroom. The code to activate the monitors is 1983, the year when his son died, the year when tragedy began, and the whole reason Afton was collecting remnants to rebuild his family. In the Dave Miller case, he might be using his dead son's name in the same purpose as he did with his pin code to his monitors, the reason why he's there in the first place. But I would like to think this in William's perspective. Your company have just been bailed out by a visionary genius. You're now just a co-owner and wants to be better at engineering. But in the process, your own son dies, despite your effort to protect him. Now the only thing you can do is to get him back. Enter Dave Miller. This lead might be a stretch, because the Dave Miller reference comes from the Silver Eyes, a different universe that is not canon towards the game lore. Another thing that YouTube user Sonia Imonen 6610 commented back in my YouTube comment to MatPat's video about Crying Child's name, check it out by the way, is that the name Dave was the 4th most popular boy's name in the 70s and the 5th most popular in the 80s. This means that Dave is not even a strange name considering when Crying Child was born. This is just a fun fact, but it doesn't necessarily support the idea of Dave being Crying Child's name. The top one name in the 70s for boys was Michael, with the runner-up Christopher. Once again, it doesn't necessarily support the theory. Obviously, this isn't the first time that theories have been pointing out Dave to be Crying Child's name. The same Foxy Grid method has been used before, and other multiple supporting ideas such as the Dave Miller connection, as I spoke about earlier, has been brought up before. But the purpose of this video is to get a wider perspective on the name Dave. How I, like other theorists, believe or mostly believe why and how this is the possible name for this Crying Child. Do you agree? Is David Dave Afton the real name of Crying Child? Leave a comment below if you want to share your theories. Share this video if you want, like it, and if not even better, subscribe. But that's it for me. Thanks for listening.
I am Dave! 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 Dave!
Dave?
Dave!
Dave!
Dave! Ah.
Sorry. Wait, I live this way.